This is a German movie by Lucas Feigenfeld, and it's set in the 1400s. Somewhere remote up in the mountains where there's this small community of people. And the first thing I noticed about this one was the cinematography and the score. Because this is a pretty good looking movie, not bad at all visually. In fact, everything from the lighting to the way the shots were framed to the costumes and the overall production design is really good. So the visual presentation I don't really have any complaints about at all. And the same goes for this very simplistic but effective score, which mostly consists of this very deep, bassy, rumbling, repetitive score that just set the mood perfectly and created this very ominous atmosphere. And those two things worked very well together, and I thought the general audio-visual presentation was stellar. I would also say that the general story here, which follows the life of this young girl, who lives alone with this older woman who is apparently her mother, is generally gripping and intriguing, and occasionally pretty creepy and unsettling, even disturbing at times. However, it heavily front-loads the creepy stuff into the first part of the movie. Speaking of which, this one is split into 4 chapters, or acts I guess. But most of that creepy stuff is in the first part, and the rest of the movie, well, it takes on more strange tones, with some disturbing elements here and there too. But I wouldn't exactly call it scary, especially later on, which was a shame in my opinion. Mainly because of how well that more creepy stuff was handled early on. But this is a very dark, slow and brooding movie. With some strange sexual undertones I didn't really get the point of. And actually, I don't think I really got the point of the movie overall either. Don't get me wrong, I still kinda enjoyed it and I loved certain aspects of it. Like the atmosphere and some of the visuals. I mean, the landscapes alone make this movie worth it. But also the acting, because there were several moments in this where the expression alone on the face of the actor on screen says more than 1,000 words. And I thought the way they pulled that little trick repeatedly was brilliant. However, as far as the actual plot goes, it's, let's just say it leaves a lot up for interpretation. And as such, I'm not really sure what it wanted to say or what the actual point was. I was expecting it to go somewhere a little bit more, less ambiguous actually. Instead it took a more, I don't even know how to describe it really. It just went down a path that, while effective in one way, just wasn't necessarily as satisfying as I'd hoped. And that's really my only genuine complaint about this one. Where it eventually took the story just didn't feel as satisfying as it could have. And don't go into this expecting a tight or strong plot. Because while the plot is definitely there, I wouldn't call it strong or tight. With that being said, I did still very much enjoy this one. Even though, or maybe because of it, very much reminded me of the movie The Witch from a few years back, which in my opinion was phenomenal, also set a few hundred years in the past, in this rural secluded environment following this one specific family living off the land, with some slightly supernatural and weird elements to it, and a heavy emphasis on this dark and brooding tone and atmosphere. All of which basically describes this one as well, so they have a few things in common. But at the same time, they are definitely still 2 very different movies. And while this one wasn't as good, it definitely wasn't bad either. However, would I recommend it? Well, if you enjoy slow and atmospheric movies, this one's definitely worth giving a shot. But if you want action, a strong plot, or a lot of dialogue, maybe skip this one. Or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.